Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is Dylan Talk Sports. My name is Dylan. In today's video, what I wanted to do is I want to kind of discuss YouTube boxers and the way YouTube fighting, social media fighting has kind of impacted the sport of boxing. Because I've seen a lot of people talking about how the whole Jake Paul, Logan Paul, KSI, Deji, the way how these kind of YouTubers and or TikTokers have started to come into the fighting scene. Everybody gets hyped up about the fights. Everybody thinks it's going to be a big fight. They buy the pay-per-view, spends like $100 sometimes on these pay-per-views because they overprice them the fuck. And then whenever the fight is like a 4 out of 10, 5 out of 10 fight, then they get pissed off and they're wondering, why did I even spend money on this fight? This was boring as hell. And I've been saying it for months, if not years. Don't buy the pay-per-view. Fights are going to be mid. These fights that they're putting on, it's all scripted into a way of trying to make certain fighters or certain YouTubers win the fights. And it kind of gets to a point of where, like Jake Paul, for example, everybody wants to buy his fights, but then whenever they don't live up to the hype, or it's just like a mid fight, he ends up beating the person, and the person that he's not really fighting doesn't really fight back. Everybody's questioning and saying, why did I just spend my money on it? So I'm going to kind of go into full detail with all the different fights. Like I said, YouTube boxers, TikTok boxers. I'm going to kind of show like the charts of like how much kind of pay-per-views each of these fights have been selling over the past of 2023. And then we'll kind of go from there. So as always with these types of videos that I post here, if you're going to enjoy, make sure you do drop a like. If you're brand new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. But without further ado, let's get into it. So like I said earlier, Jake Paul, Logan Paul, we got other YouTubers from like the FaZe Clan, Temper, Jarvis, they did a couple of fights. Here lately, we've been seeing KSI, Deji, they've been getting into a lot of fights. Logan Paul and KSI, they fought like already now 3 times. And then here recently, the TikToker, Bryce Hall, however you want to say it, he had started fighting. He had a fight, I want to say about a month ago, which that was impressive. It was a bare knuckles fight, a league that he went into. He won the fight, and it was a pretty good fight. I watched the highlights. He did good. I'll put it on screen, but you can kind of see it here. Kind of talks about how he had this bare knuckle fight debut. He ended up winning the fight. Forced unbeaten veteran G Perez to quit in his bare knuckle boxing debut. But the thing I have with these kind of fighters and these like social media influencers is when they go into these fights, if they're actually a good fighter, I don't see why they don't actually take those talents and go onto the main stage. Don't go out there and challenge like a Floyd Mayweather, Canelo Alvarez. If you're a big dude, don't go out there challenging like a Tyson Fury. Fight on the undercards. Fight those small fights where the big guys, they're going to be getting paid obviously the $50, $100 million. You can fight the small cards, get paid maybe $100,000, $500,000. Especially if you're actually a really good fighter, you can work your way up, and within maybe 10 fights, you can then start challenging for maybe a title. Maybe you can get on a main card. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not a boxer. I haven't use a quote.
I'm not a boxer. I'm not a fighter. I've never claimed to be a fighter.
Never have I claimed to be a fighter. But I watch the sport. I understand how it kind of works. And I understand kind of the ranks you have to go through to become a elite top boxer. And when I'm watching some of these social media stars, it seems like, especially with Jake Paul, he is trying to almost like go out here and become already the top guy of like becoming the next Floyd Mayweather, Canelo Alvarez. If you dare want to say the next legends like Muhammad Ali's, Sugar Ray Robinson. And I think if he was to just go and just take his steps one by one rather than 10 by 10, we'd probably respect him a little bit more. But with the way how he's boxing right now and wanting to face top guys, he's calling out top guys, but then it's like at the same time, he's being a marketing genius where he's taking on these small guys. He's already taken on Ben Askren, a guy that doesn't box, he wrestles. What does Jake Paul do? Knocks him out in the first round. Then number 2, he takes on a guy from the UFC in Tyron Woodley. Yes, can Tyron Woodley have some extreme punching power? Yes, but Tyron Woodley is a grappler. So what does Jake Paul do? Knocks his ass out in, I believe, the 5th round. He had one fight with Tyron Woodley where he went the distance. I think Jake Paul actually got knocked out in that fight. He kind of used Tyron to kind of stand up and stay up to hold the fight. And then we move on to where we have finally a fight against Tommy Fury. It was Tyson Fury's brother. Everybody knew going into this fight. This fight just seems fishy. There's something about it, but it ultimately ended up being a good fight. Jake Paul lost. I was very happy for that. Some people were looking at it like, I don't really care who wins. I just want to kind of see, can Jake Paul actually box? Now, in no way do I think Tommy is on Tyson's level already. Tommy's got a long way to go for himself as well to get up there in the top ranks. And I think Tommy having a fight against, I believe, KSI here about a few days ago, that does not help out his story. But when it comes to the social media boxers, like I said, if these kind of people want to get to the top, they need to fight actual fighters. And then for some of the fighters that, like I said, that they're just doing this for fun, side paycheck, they can make some money off of this. I got nothing wrong with it if like you're just trying to have fun, maybe you're gonna get a few pay-per-views buys. That's one thing. But when they're going out here and they're like expecting to get 100,000, 500,000, million pay-per-view sales, and they're almost, I feel like they're demanding it, and then they're like demanding to get big time money. It's kind of ridiculous. I mean, I'm gonna kind of scroll through here. You can kind of see all the pay-per-view fights that have happened here in the 2023. This is mainly just entertainment, influencers, social media star fights, and you can see on here you got Jake Paul quite a few times. You got some of these other social media stars. Most of them I don't really know. If you know them, good for you, but like some of them I don't really know. I mean, I'm recognizing KSI, I'm recognizing Deji, I'm recognizing Temper. Some of these guys on here, iDubbbz, I recognize. Myth, I recognize. Leonhardt, Gindy, KSI again. Like, some of these people I know, but like, I would say about 95% of the people on this list, I got no clue who they are. And that's where the funny thing is with me is, where the hell is all this money coming from they're making from these fights? But yet, like, half these fights, I don't even remember whenever the hell they were announced. Like, I feel like you have to be, like, basically a diehard fan of just those creators to know that fight was happening. Last thing I'm going to kind of leave you with is I'm going to kind of talk about Jake Paul just for one quick second. Like I said earlier, he always is fighting all these, like, nobodies, these kind of fighters, but nobody fighters. And he keeps on saying, what do I got to do to get respect? Well, we saw him fight a fighter, a real boxer in Tommy Fury. Did he lose? Yes. Was I happy? Yes. But the fact that he fought a real boxer and I saw him go toe to toe with Tommy, pretty much the whole fight shows me, okay, this dude can box. I have compiled a list here off of this website here. I'll put the link down in the description if you want to go check out this list. But it basically has the top 100 boxers. You can kind of go through here and pick out the weight class. I looked up online, Jake Paul, he fights at about 190 pounds. That's cruiserweight division. So I went in here, and this basically has every, I think at least like the top 100 fighters in the cruiserweight basically around that are looking for a fight right now. And you got to think, okay, Jake's only got about like a handful of fights. So somebody with like less than 10 fights maybe, or somebody that it doesn't really have that good of a record. It won't be that hard. Down here at 99, you got this boy, 6-1-1. Hey, a 9-2-1. Let's keep going. If you want an undefeated fighter and you want to take somebody's record, there's a couple of people down here at 12-1, maybe 11-0, and 8-0. Maybe that's too tough. Okay, you got some 6-0s over here. You got a 1-0. You can fight them. And I'm literally down here at the bottom of the ranks. Now, obviously, if you want to go at the top of the ranks and you want a top dog, I mean, you got right here, I think this is 17th ranked, 7-0. Do you want to take on that challenge? That's up to you. I'm just saying, until Jake Paul fights somebody real, and until these social media stars actually are like fighting real boxers, or like if they go into the octagon, they're fighting real people. That's why I think Bryce Hall, he got some respect from me, and Jake got some respect from me because he fought a boxer and he actually had like a real fight with him. The fight that Logan had with Floyd Mayweather, that don't count for me. The other fights that Jake had, those don't really count for me either. But Jake fighting Tommy, yes, I know he lost, but it's like the way how he was fighting in that match, it felt like he was really having to try to outbox him. And then the same thing with Bryce Hall. Just the fact that he fought bare knuckles. His face was all bloody, his nose was broken. That shit was hardcore. But other than that, that's all I gotta talk about for today's video. Hopefully you guys did go on to enjoy today's video. It's a little bit of a short one, but I just kind of wanted to go over this. If you wanted to enjoy today's video, as always, make sure you do drop a like. If there was any details I kind of left out, or you want to leave your opinion down in the comment section down below, feel free to do so. Like I said, I'm not a boxer, nor have I ever claimed to be a boxer. So if you are a boxer, or maybe you watch boxing religiously and you want to drop your opinion on kind of how you feel about the whole social media movement being in boxing, let me know down in the comment section down below. If you are a fan of the content that I do post here, I post sports content here all the time, sports news, religiously Cleveland sports fan and Ohio State sports fan, so all that kind of stuff here on the channel. So if you're a fan of that kind of stuff and you want to go and hit that big red subscribe button, feel free to do so, and don't forget to hit that alert notification bell to be notified the second I post. But without further ado, this has been Dylan Talk Sports. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.